Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday, the 19th of July. Continuing to follow Robert Murray McShane's readings, one of the passages we read today is the second chapter of the book of Judges. Now, Moses had passed away, passed the mantle on to Joshua, who then led the people into the promised land to take possession of it. And eventually, verse 8, we're told, Joshua, son of Nun, the servant of the Lord, died at the age of 110. So he'd been successful, he'd been faithful, he'd done what he'd been called to do. Then I was struck by verse 10. After that whole generation had been gathered to their ancestors, another generation grew up who neither knew the Lord nor what he had done for Israel. Then the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord and served the Baals. Another generation arose that didn't know the Lord and didn't know what he had done. And that struck me because as we've been praying for South Africa, people have said, remember what God did at the elections. Remember what it was like in the early 90s. Remember the fervent prayers in 1994 and how God changed the situation. And I thought, that was a whole generation ago. Anyone under the age of about 31, 32 wouldn't know anything about that. That's a whole generation needs to be brought on board. And so that's a challenge to us, that as we need to keep praying for our country, keep praying that despite the fact that the violence has died down and the looting has stopped, and we praise God for that, the challenges are still there and we need to keep praying. But we need to pray, God, raise up another generation of intercessors to pray for the country and to see what you do. And that then also just challenged me that we need to have another generation that knows the Lord. The church is never more than a generation from extinction. It doesn't matter how deep our faith is, how committed we are, how strong the church is today. Unless there's another generation coming up that knows the Lord and that walks in his ways, the church will go to the grave with us. And so that has to be part of our prayers as well. God, extend your kingdom. Raise up another generation that will know you, that will love you, that will walk with you, that will serve you. And so our challenge is keep praying for the country and keep praying for the spread of the gospel, particularly into new generations. So do pray for that God will raise up those people and work his will to grow his kingdom.